We are joined by Chris Wynn and Alan Van Slyke, senior producers for Gears of War Judgment at Epic Games. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. Got to tell you, that looked fantastic. Now, we just saw the world premiere of Aftermath, but let's take a step back. I want you to tell us about the main campaign, who's Kilo Squad, and what is their mission? Alan, you want to take that?
Yeah, so Kilo Squad, a couple of characters you already know, familiar to the Gears franchise. Barrett and Cole. These are the characters that, the Gears fans said, we want to hear more about these guys, and so let's explore more about them. And then the squad is rounded out with two new characters. We have Garen Paddock, who's a former grizzled UIR veteran, been in the trenches, but came over to help the COG fight the Locust after Emergence Day. And then we have Sophia Hendrick, who's kind of a fresh-faced Onyx Guard cadet graduate, but hasn't seen any battle yet.
Any real action.
Absolutely.
Great. Now we've got some announcements coming up. Chris, tell us about some of the announcements that you guys have made recently.
Yeah, it's really exciting these days. When you make a game, you finish it up, you get it in the box and out to stores, and you continue to develop. We release content after the fact, and so we announced just last week we did a deal with Maxim Magazine to be able to bring 2 free maps to our fans. And then including in that, we actually adding back execution modes. So this is a fan favorite mode. They really asked for it to come back in Judgment, so we were able to do that, partner with Maxim, and bring that to people pretty early on. And then we also announced the details of our DLC plan. So we're going to add 6 new maps and even 2 new additional modes. And then that's all wrapped up in a season pass, so you can get a discount on the whole thing.
So wait a minute, I get my season pass, I get access to all the content, I get a discount, and I get double XP?
You do, yeah, you get double XP forever.
Right.
So as long as you play in those VIP playlists, you're gonna get double XP.
Right.
You also get the content early. You're gonna get it before everyone else, which I think is really cool. And then of course we added in some skins and characters that you'll get just by being a VIP.
There's a lot going on there. I've had the chance to play this game, but one of the things I noticed right off was you kind of did some things with the weapons and the weapon switching. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we optimized the control scheme actually in both multiplayer and the primary campaign. So now Y is a quick weapon swap, primary, secondary, just hit Y, boom, boom, switch back and forth. It really sped up the gameplay. And we've also gotten rid of all the D-pad functionality, moved the grenades to the left bumper. So now you can tap it, quick grenade throw while you're on the run.
But I can still hold it down and get the angle.
Yeah, if you want that traditional trajectory, the aiming arc, you
Yep.
can hold on to it, and you can always put it away too. If you pulled it out and you want to put it away, no problem.
Great. That's Chris Perna, director of art for the entire for the entire Gears of War series. Wow, that man has really got his fingerprints all over it. What's it like to work with him?
Yeah, he really does have his fingerprints and his influence on the whole series. I was watching the Twitter feed at the bottom of the monitor there as it was going on, and someone said, he's one of the best in the business, and in my opinion, he is the best in the business. I mean, he defines what an art director is, and really creates just a beautiful game.
It's really great to work with him and his entire team, and kind of, he sets the bar high and is infectious. And so it's really been a pleasure to work with him. But we also have to call out, PCF. We're going for this new, we've gone back before Gears of War 1 where everything is freshly destroyed and still on fire. So it's a really evolutionary visual ID for the franchise. And so it's, Perna certainly has been instrumental in that, and PCF in collaboration as well. So it's been a great
lot going on there. You mentioned Twitter. What do you say we go to Twitter now? We're going to turn the show over to you, the community. We've been firing off questions for both on the Gears Judgment hashtag. If you have a question, you just need to use that hashtag. Why don't we bring up the first question right now? We'll get right to it. So with the success of the franchise, did you find it difficult creating a story or a prequel that could hold its own from 00 Sleven? Guys?
I saw this come up while we were in the green room waiting for the show. It really freed us to be able to go do a prequel. So, I wouldn't say it was constraining or tough or difficult. We were really free to kind of go off and really try a lot of new things. And I think that's why Judgment does feel so fresh and does feel so new. We didn't hold ourselves in a box.
Right.
That maybe, may have been the case with the original trilogy.
Great, let's go on to question number 2. Let's bring that up right now on the screen. And we've got any new type of weapons. I mean, come on. That's what every Gears fan wants to know.
Yeah, absolutely. As you'd expect in the new Gears of War product, lots of new characters, lots of new enemies, and lots of new weapons as well. So we have a couple of accuracy-based weapons, some of which the Locusts have commandeered and modified to be their own. We have former UIR weapons, like the Bushka, which fires grenades, and we have a new stim gas and spotting grenades as well. So lots new to be had in the weapons department.
A lot of different stuff going on there. All right, next question. Let's bring that up on Twitter. Make sure you use the hashtag Gears Judgment. Is there any new multiplayer modes for Gears Judgment?
Yeah, we have Overrun mode is the most exciting new mode that we've added. It's a 5-on-5 attack defend class-based multiplayer mode, just super fun, way exciting. We just talked about Domination, that's brand new. Free-for-all mode, another brand new mode that we brought into Gears. It's just sort of deathmatch, everyone on their own.
Yep.
So a ton of new stuff in the multiplayer.
All right, we've got time for one more question. We'll be taking them later on in the show, but right now let's turn it back over under the Gears Judgment hashtag. This question is, let's go ahead and bring that up here. Live TV, you never know what's going to happen.
It's coming, I can feel it.
All right, here it is. Why did you choose to have loadout systems for multiplayer? Great question.
It is a
Hearing
good
lot
question.
about that.
Yeah, I think it's all about flexibility. I mean, giving players, this is another big, one of the recurring things with this project is cramming as much in as we could that the community desired. And this is certainly one of the things that immediately fell out of that we prototyped in early pre-production and knew was compelling is, this wider variety of choices by offering a loadout system.
Great, well there you go. Thanks. Survival mode, that looked great. I got to talk to you about this though. There's class-based going on here. Tell us about that.
Yeah, one of the things that makes it so interesting and so compelling is that you do have this class-based system. And so it really becomes about how are we going to team up? So how are you going to spread those classes around the team and really work together to use those unique abilities that each class has in order to try to survive those 10 waves that the locusts are launching at you. And that really is where the mode really gets interesting. It kind of borrows that stuff from Overrun. It just adds that deep strategy that Gears hasn't had before. And by introducing those classes, we've introduced a lot of strategy in there as well.
Tell me about some of your favorite memories as you guys were playtesting this.
Oh, lots of good memories, especially when you're playtesting against QA because those guys are ridiculous. But testing different strategies, I think, are some of the most the fondest memories we have of, hey, let's load up on engineers and let's see what we can do to just keep the fortifications repaired and maybe have a medic or two to heal us, or hey, let's go in with the heavy guys and left and right center. It's all about how you're combining your classes and how you're defending the different routes, and there's lots of great memories surrounding that.
Now, Chris, we're watching the Twitter feed here in the studio on the Gears Judgment hashtag. There's been some questions about taking the Horde mode of 50 and then dropping it down to 10 for survival mode. Tell us about that.
Yeah, sure. So Horde was really about a marathon.
Right.
And one of the big themes for us in Judgment is around intensity, around making your palms sweat, about making your knuckles turn white because you're squeezing that controller. And so when we really focused in on survival, we really wanted to bring that intensity into the mode as well. And so you get, it might last about an hour, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on how well you do, but it is a crazy hour. I mean, you're just constantly, you really are squeezing that controller. Are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it? There's two guys left, we're almost done. And just that intensity, that sort of, what you kind of get nervous in your belly, right? That kind of butterflies in your stomach that don't happen in a lot of other modes. And that's something we really wanted to bring, and I think that's why you see, the mode tuned the way it was, because that's what we were going after.
Let's get back to the questions on Twitter using the Gears Judgment hashtag. We've seen survival, now we're gonna go to the questions. Let's bring up the first question right here in the studio. Will there be a season pass? It's always a great value. Can't wait to see kill some locust scum. Look forward to it, guys. You kind of talked about that a little bit earlier, but why don't you go ahead and revisit it?
Kill the locust scum. I like it. Destroy them. So our DLC plans will have 6 maps that we talked about that we'll release, plus 2 new modes. The season pass gives you a discount on that. I don't know the exact points here off the top of my head. But then you also get all that extra stuff that we talked about. You get early access to all the content before anyone else gets it. You get the double XP.
Double XP.
Play and playing the VIP playlist all the time, which is awesome.
Yep.
And then you get the skins and the characters that no one else is going to get as well. So our season pass, we really tried to take it to the next level. We really tried to up that value to our fans and try to give them a lot of what they wanted.
All right, back to Twitter using the hashtag Gears Judgment. Next question up: will the mature filters, gore, and language be returning? It was a great option to have in Gears.
Yeah, they're all in there. Yep. So absolutely, they'll be back for you.
So that's people that don't really prefer the blood and whatnot. They can kind of dial it back a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
actually, I kind of use that in multiplayer. I dial it because I can turn it off. That way, it's not on the lens. That's my pro tip. All right, let's go to the next question on Twitter. Gears Judgment. There you go. Is there a good game for new players to join the Gears of War universe? Or do you recommend playing the previous games? Because there's a lot of games. This is now the 4th game. So tell us where should we start at the beginning, or tell us about that?
This is a great place to start. So you don't have to worry about, in Gears 1, 2, and 3, like starting in Gears 2, you don't know what happened. You don't have that. This is a standalone story. You don't need the background of what happened in the original trilogy. And then we have all this additional stuff. We talked about Aftermath, which actually takes place during Gears of War 3. It's a slice of what the Gears 3 campaign was like. So you get the Judgment campaign, you unlock Aftermath, and then you get to play a little bit of Gears 3. And then on those initial shipments of the game, we have a code to download Gears of War 1 digitally.
For free.
For free.
So wait a minute. So when you buy the game, you're going to get basically Gears of 1 free to download.
Yeah, that's right. And so you get Judgment, you get 1, you get a slice of 3, you get like that whole stretch of what we've done in the franchise, which I think is awesome.
Lots of Gears. All right, back to Twitter. Hashtag Gears Judgment. Fire them our way. We will try to answer them. In your opinion, is Gears of War Judgment more difficult than the previous games?
No, I wouldn't say it's more difficult. It's definitely, there's definitely a sense of urgency and intensity that you haven't seen before in a Gears of War title. I mean, going back before Gears of War 1 to when the Locust invasion is fresh and new and that people are still trying to react to it, brings a sense of intensity and urgency that you haven't seen before.
Okay.
I do think it's more strategic as well. You know, just based on the smart spawn system and having to look to see how you're going to get through there. You know, you do have to be a little bit more strategic than maybe you were in the past.
All right, let's go to another question on Twitter. Let's bring this one up. Is there going to be an awesome girl character to play? Green Fairy LV. Let's see. Green Fairy would like.
I'm guessing. Yes. Sophia Hendrick is a brand new character. She's a young rookie in the COG military. She's part of Kilo Squad, and so she makes an appearance in the game. One of my favorites is Alex Brand, who's a comic book character, and if you go pre-order the game at the Microsoft store, you get her as part of that incentive. And so, two really cool female characters right there. And of course, we have Anya returning as an incentive as well. So,
thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on Xbox Live for this world premiere live event. I know it's been a whirlwind tour for both of you. Any final comments for the fans?
Excited to get the game out on March 19th. You know, I want to get on. I want to play. Overrun for me is just so exciting, so I want to get on there and play with a bunch of fans and see how it goes.
Yeah, I can't wait to see everybody online on March 19th.
Oh, we're looking forward to that.